Home and away spoilers follow for UK viewers. Here's a full collection of 12 massive moments. You can also check out our collection of 33 spoiler pictures from these episodes. 1. Sunny breaks Bree's rules. Sunny is walking on eggshells around Bree as she makes him swear not to tell Remy what she's up to. He agrees, but then goes back on his word when he informs Remy that Bree has returned to work at the hospital. Egged on by Sunny, Remy sends a text to Bree asking if they can talk. She agrees to meet up and hear what he's got to say. 2. Remy begs Bree for forgiveness. Remy throws himself at Bree's mercy as he tries to explain why he ended up in bed with Avalon. He explains that Avalon saw him in a new light which made him feel worthy, but these words are like a dagger to Bree. Remy continues to plead for forgiveness, insisting he'll spend the rest of his life making it up to Bree. 3. Mac discovers she was an IVF baby. Levi decides it's time he underwent fertility testing after his and Mac's struggles to conceive a child. After an anxious wait, the results come back all clear, just like Mac's were. The couple decide to call their parents and find out if they had difficulty conceiving. Levi is informed there was no problems on his side, but Mac is shocked to learn she was an IVF baby. 4. Rue makes a life-changing decision. As Cohen is treated in hospital with a nasty case of tonsillitis, Rue blames herself for not acting sooner. Alf offers his daughter comfort and promises to keep an eye on Cohen while she goes home and gets some rest. When Rue returns, she announces to Alf that she's decided to apply to adopt Cohen. Rue's decision also inspires Bree to consider giving Remy a second chance. 5. Alf is concerned for Rue. David has news for Rue when he reveals Cohen's mom has been sentenced to 12 months in prison. Later, Rue goes to see Cash to hear about his personal experience growing up in the foster care system. Cash advises her to think very carefully before making any major decisions. Alf is also wary about Rue's plan to adopt Cohen as he fears she'll get her heart broken again. 6. David drops a bombshell on Lacey. David turns up at Salt with a suitcase and informs Lacey that he sold their family home. Lacey is supported by Theo as she goes through the keepsakes from her childhood. Afterwards she meets up with David to understand why he let go of the place that held such precious memories. David finally starts to get through to Lacey, but a mention of Joe puts them back at square one. 7. John lets Justin in on Irene's secret. John wants Irene to start breaking the news of her diagnosis to her family and friends, but she's not ready. Justin starts to fear something is really wrong when he overhears John and Irene's quarrel. Unable to lie, John tells Justin the truth but swears him to secrecy. Meanwhile, a tearful Irene writes names on the back of all her photographs as a way to remember who everyone is. 8. Dana wants Harper to move forward. Joe is also struggling to deal with the loss of her childhood home and confides in Dana over a drink. When talk turns to men, Joe admits she went on a date with a guy who has a kid. She doesn't mention names, but Dana works out it's Tane. Dana then goes to see Harper and urges her sister to allow Tane to move on. 9. Joe rejects Tane. Harper and Tane have an honest chat about him dating other people and she apologizes for getting in the way. Afterwards Harper finds Joe in the diner and tells her that Tane is a single man who can do as he pleases. But when Tane later approaches Joe she turns him down, insisting it's all too complicated. 10. Irene tells Leah the truth. Leah arrives at Irene's, desperate to know what's going on with her friend. But she's met with an angry response as Irene chucks her out. That next evening, Leah receives a message from Irene. She's finally ready to talk. Leah reassures Irene that whatever it is they'll get through it. But nothing prepares her for the moment when Irene reveals she's got Alzheimer's. 11. Remy moves too fast. Bree pays Remy a visit and reluctantly admits she's missing him. The exes then head to Salt for a drink, where Bree tells Remy there's a chance they can work through things, but it would need to be on her terms. Later, Remy makes the mistake of moving for a kiss and Bree warns him she's not ready for that. 12. Irene quits the diner. Leah's emotions are all over the place as she tries to digest the devastating news about Irene's health. Irene returns to work at the diner, but the emotion and stress causes her to knock a plate onto the floor. Leah pleads with Irene to cut herself some slack, but her mind is made up. She decides it's time to take a step back from the diner, starting right now.